Hi, my name is Monica Alford. I am the founder and CEO of Wildside Media, and I'm very excited to be inside Legacy Sessions studio today with two of my favorite people who are working on a upcoming production at Woolly Mammoth Theater Company today. So we've got Kristen Jackson, who's the Associate Artistic Director and Director of Connectivity at Woolly Mammoth, and we have Christy Maiselman, who is the Executive Director and Curator of CulturalDC. And we're in studio today to talk about Rose, You Are Who You Eat, very interesting title, lots of questions, which opens at Woolly on June 5th. And Christy, I know this is a project that you actually brought to Woolly Mammoth, I don't know how long ago, but we'd love to hear all about it. So I'm gonna kick it off to you at how this project came to you.
Sure. So I was introduced to John Jarboe and the Bearded Ladies Cabaret during the pandemic. John is the artistic director and has been and is based in Philadelphia for an eternity. But we were introduced to them because during the pandemic, they built a Beardmobile, which was their mobile stage, which we thought at the time was a great kind of companion to our mobile art gallery. And so when I met John in Philadelphia at the Beardmobile, I said, we have to bring this to DC. I don't know if it will make the trip down 95, but we must try. And so they came and performed a couple of shows in tandem with the mobile art gallery at the Sandlot during the pandemic. It was during that time that John started talking to me about this project that she was working on through a bubble residency she had done at the Guggenheim. Mm-hmm. And it was during the pandemic that she was visiting family, and her aunt said, well, you know, John, you are the way you are because of this, you know, because you ate your twin. You were a twin and you consumed your twin. And so it set John out on this journey, a gender journey, am I a murderer? Am I a cannibal? Am I, you know, and so it started there. And so it was a series of music videos and songs. John is an amazing performer, amazing songwriter, and wrote all these amazing songs for Rose. And there were all these like beautiful music videos, and this show just kept growing and growing and growing. And during the pandemic, I said, we must bring this to DC. And so John was like, sure, let's do a concert. So we did 2 shows during the pandemic in 2022. It was very much not a concert. It was very much a full production. Right. And I said, John, this is a full production. Yeah. And, but it needs more than what we can give you at source. This is important work. You have a lot to say, and we need to share your story with the world. And I said, I'm going to find you someone, and I know just the right partner. And so I set out on what feels like it took like a year to get Woolly on board. But I knew that they were the right partner for this project because we both share a vision for non-traditional theater and pushing boundaries. And once Maria and I connected and I shared the amazing video, she was in. And so here we are. Yeah. However, 2 years later.
Yeah, and now we're just a month away, which is
less than a month away.
It's very exciting. That's so cool. So, Kristen, can you share a little bit from Woolly's perspective, your involvement, and sort of how you've been ramping things up for the production for Rose to come to Woolly?
Yeah, we were so excited about this project. I mean, there's gender feasting. What's not to love? Yeah. I think in preparing for Rose, we have been thinking about how to engage the local community, mm-hmm. how to particularly engage other artists. We are hosting a drag brunch on the 15th called Thorns, because nothing goes with Rose like thorns, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Where we have some local drag performers who will be both hosting and performing. And we also have some exciting programming featuring the Gay Men's Chorus. Fun. And B. Steadwell is coming and performing as well. So, we're really thinking about who are artists who are having and engaging in similar conversations. Yeah. And what are the communities for whom this play will be particularly relevant? And how can we really connect them with Rose.
Yeah. Well, I want to dig into that a little bit more because I totally understand this is great timing for, Pride Month and the queer community. But is there like a community of people who ate their twin in the womb? Is that a thing that has come out of this? Does John now have this community that has been reaching out about this? How niche is this? That's a real question.
It's real. I mean, the feedback that I think she gets after the shows, and so this is what started as a concert,
right?
Like then became several like rolling world premieres, and it was it premiered at Fringe Arts in Philly in the fall, and then at La Mama in New York. And so as we continue to workshop the show and get it ready for DC, it has had these other performances, and it's been so interesting and so fascinating to hear the feedback from the audience of people that are twins or that had been a twin or had a twin in the womb, but they consumed their twin and had never really thought about it from the framework of cannibalism and something not as wholesome. So I think it's been really interesting to kind of the conversations that have come out of the show and the connections that John's been able to make with a variety of different communities.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have lots of other questions about that. But sidebar, I literally had lunch with someone today who was 2 years old in 1970 and said that she wasn't growing. So her mom took her to the doctor, and she had a twin that was fused to her reproductive area, so her hormones were being blocked, and it was like the size of a lemon, and it was teeth and hair, and basically this other baby. And I'm like, it was so wild that I just mentioned what this topic was, and that came up, and it was super matter of fact. I'm like, I want to write a whole short story about this. That's so fascinating. But it was actually impacting her growth, like as a child, and apparently that can happen too. So yeah, not cannibalism, but adjacent. It's
very adjacent.
So she's already really pumped to come see the show. She was like, I have to, that's my people. We've been through something together. So in terms of the way that you feel like it might be resonating with other audiences, like what are some of those? Can we dig into some of those themes without giving too much away about because it's been a concert but really a show, and this is more of a remount. The ways that you feel like or that John shared that it's impacted local communities or communities up in Philly, and what who you hope it will resonate with inside Woolly's space.
Well, one of the things that I think we've thought a lot about are intergenerational connections that the show helps kind of illuminate. What are the sort of parent-child dynamics around gender and talking about gender and sexuality, and how can this show actually support that in some ways, creating a space for conversation where there may not have been. And I think furthering this idea of theater as a catalyst for the kind of social change and understanding of around the depths of our humanity. So that's something that, I get a little excited about.
Yeah. Wow. Very well said. That is exciting. It would actually be kind of fun to see if there's a conversation someone in the community would be willing to have as part of like a post-show performance about that, And you said creating space for it, it's also a safe space, right? Because that's a hard thing to navigate. I think of the older generations, even the ones that are folks who are open-minded, they still need to kind of learn what to say and what not to say, and how to be supportive in the right way that their child or whoever needs. But that's really wonderful. It's so cool.
I think what John is so good at appealing to different audiences and really adapting shows to different audiences and specifically children. And so I think we're really excited about the fact that there's a family-friendly show that is for kids. And you mentioned the Gay Men's Chorus. So it's the Gen Out Choir, which is the LGBTQ youth choir. Will be part of that show. And I think it's a really exciting opportunity for those conversations to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool. And in terms of, I have some questions about the drag brunch, but I know that Woolly is great at doing different themed evenings throughout the run to have those accessibility points for different parts of the community. Can you walk us through or give us a sneak peek of some of the activations or programming around Rose that maybe you're partnering together on, and CulturalDC is coming in, or just that the theater is planning to include?
I know that there will be a Pride Night on the 14th. Cool. So we're excited to welcome all of our LGBTQIA audiences into the theater for that performance. I mean, I hope we're welcoming them into the theater for every performance, but this evening in particular should be pretty special. And we should have some exciting partners on board to hang out pre-show. So that's one of the activations around the project.
Cool. Wonderful. And Christy, I know you've shared a few things with me that I'd love if you can go on the record about.
Sure.
Them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Our team has been working with Kristen's team and the LGBTQ Center on a trans closet, a take one, leave one closet. So we are really going to be transforming the lobby of Woolly and really making it a welcome kind of environment where folks from the trans community can come and utilize the things in the closet, utilize the resources, take one, leave one, shop as you need, whether it's a job interview or, whatever you need, we hope to be able to provide those resources there for that community. John's working, I think this project has so many roots, and I was trying to make a cute pun. Roots to the project. And I think what's so interesting is that, in addition to Woolly, there is our mobile art gallery installation, which is for John kind of a more visual arts installation piece of it. And so some of that will carry over into Woolly, and John will be inviting folks to write letters to their gender, which will become part of the installation.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of anything where there's different activations, different points of connectivity, because art hits everybody differently, right? So I think that's wonderful. Very exciting. Any other programming or themed night or anything else that we should share with the community while I have you both? I know things are still being announced, but and the drag brunch, if you like any other details about that, like where it is or.
Yes, the drag brunch is happening at the Line. And the Genesis will be hosting. Nice. Hennessy is one of our drag performers who will be sharing their talents.
Love it.
And it should be an amazing time. That's happening on the 15th.
Very cool.
Of May.
So you're very busy, the
June.
14th, 15th. Yeah, June. Yeah, it's confusing time.
Time.
And is that all that can be announced right now? I mean, we'll be plugging other things, of course, but any other themed nights within the theater or... okay, cool, great. So I had kind of like a bigger, more macro question. I know that, Christy, you and CulturalDC have partnered with Woolly Mammoth in other capacities. And if you could speak a little bit to, from both of your perspectives, the importance of cultural institutions and nonprofits, working together, and the ways that just like you can create two different experiences for the community to absorb that art and how it might hit them. To me, the takeaway is it's an accessibility point. Like I know Woolly is very focused on accessibility, but there's still kind of that stigma of, is this theater for me, or can I afford this ticket price or whatever else? And so, you do that very well for a lot of the theaters in the city, but I think, Christy, what you do so incredibly well is create like full accessibility always, so folks feel like it's a very safe space, and artists that are, young kids versus, prestigious can come in and experience it and enjoy it. So I'd love to learn a little bit more about like the ethos behind why you've partnered together in the past, or how you think that benefits, each of your organizations.
I think collaboration is built into our DNA, and I kind of feel like the same with Woolly. And we have a very long history that goes back to our place in the Penn Quarter area and the work that we did to help bring Woolly to the Penn Quarter and find them a permanent home there. And so it's so exciting to kind of come full circle, like so many years later, on such an exciting project, because I think for us, accessibility is so important. That's why we launched our mobile art gallery, is really to make art accessible, to take it to the people and make sure that everybody can experience that. But also not only from the audience perspective, but also from an artist perspective, and make sure that we are offering a platform for all of these artists to really use their voice. And I think in Washington, we have such a unique position, unlike any other city. And that's why we've never shied away from that challenging work. And I know our partners at Woolly feel the same way. And we have this, it feels like a responsibility to be able to provide this platform to artists and make sure that we're providing the environment where we can welcome in the audiences that will be able to tell their stories and share their stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would also just add that and echo the idea of collaboration over competition. I think that it makes all of us ultimately stronger to collaborate, and also thinking about collaboration across artistic disciplines too.
Right.
We have core partners at Woolly Mammoth, without whom, we could not do various projects that we're engaged in. And these core partners are across artistic disciplines, and they're committed to anti-racism. They're committed to art as a force for change.
Yep.
And I think what we have in common is this commitment to art as a force for change.
Yeah. That's wonderful. That conversation comes up all the time, by the way, when I'm talking to artists. I was doing a hospitality segment yesterday in Union Market and media. I just feel like in a post-COVID world, everybody's hungry for connection, and it's just there's no competition. Everything's complementary, or you find a way to make it so. And also, the creative community is so small, so there's just especially no room for it in DC. So I'd love to hear that echoed and reinforced constantly. It's really special, and it's come up so much recently. I think my only other big question for each of you is just to share a little bit about what your respective organizations, institutions are doing for Pride, but beyond just Rose, in June, where we can support you, and over the course of the summer. And I'd kick it off to you because I want to hear about the season announcement. I know that's coming up for everybody this summer.
Yeah, we're hoping to announce our season at the end of this month, so stay tuned. As always, Woolly has a slate of provocative, challenging, inventive projects that
Good
we're
adjectives, yeah. I like those. That's a good combo. Yeah, that's a good tagline.
that we're exploring and presenting. So that's something to be excited about. Around Pride, we actually, coming up very soon, we'll be celebrating Black Pride with one of our core partners, Black in Space, through a Black Joy Disco.
Love that.
And that is happening on the 19th, I believe.
And that's who I was geeking out about at the gala, right? Who was performing?
Yes.
They're fabulous.
Yes.
Yeah, that was that cowboy hat and the
Drag
whole, oh my gosh, it was so great. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, fabulous. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. And Christy, I know you have a lot going on too. Always.
Always.
Yeah.
I think this is the summer of Rose for us, and I know the production at Woolly runs through most of June, but John's installation in our mobile art gallery will run through a good part of July. So there will be some programming around that. We're also working with local multidisciplinary artist Stephanie Mercedes around a project with Aperium Hotels, which is a new hotel brand in Alexandria that's coming, and we're really excited to launch a Pride kind of project with them and Mercedes. And then we roll into our Capital Artist residency later in the summer.
Yeah, okay. Lots going on, guys. Yeah, this is so exciting. Well, I'm just going to shamelessly plug that in some form or fashion. I know I'm going to be working with both of you, both CulturalDC and Woolly Mammoth Theater will be connected to Walk on the Wild Side Pride Party at Union Market District on June 15th, which is a fundraiser for the new DC LGBTQ Center. So love that we have that connection. I actually did not know that before earlier today, so I'm very excited about that. And I'm really, really interested in showcasing as many performing artists that are in femme, non-binary, and trans spaces. I want to support the whole queer community, but especially those that are part of underrepresented communities within the queer community and in the arts, and amplify. And so I've been so grateful to have creative conversations with both of your organizations, and ticket sales going up soon. Yeah, so thank you both for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having us.